Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to StraightA. Dawson is here, back with another video here today, and we are talking about fantasy football. We are talking about the four leagues I made the playoffs in. I actually got to make some slight adjustments here to make sure I showcase all the teams. And then I'll be making another video here shortly to review the playoff teams for the other leagues that I'm in, to kind of talk about them a little bit. Now, it's week 16, so obviously we're in the semis, so I didn't get to talk about all of them. I'm actually trying to think what the two playoff leagues I haven't covered yet. I'm trying to remember what I covered exactly for them, but I'll figure that out. I will talk about the four playoff teams I had. Some of them I played the semifinals, and I'll go over those games with you as well. I played two semifinal games. Meanwhile, we have the main league here, the half PPR milestone league. I did take a loss last week, barely, but this game didn't matter to me. I had number one seed, meaning I had to choose my opponent, and we'll talk about that here in a second. So this game right here is my current playoff game. Me versus Lucio, and then Speed Kills versus Bukake. These are the four, Speed Kills and Bukake and Lucio were the three teams I got to choose from as a number one seed. So this is the game I have. I am currently facing off with Jaden Daniels, Devon Achane, Kyron Williams, Jawan Jennings. Lad McConkey already played at 11.7. Could have been worse, could have been better. I'll take it. Currently, I have Strange in as my tight end, but I do have Kincaid on the bench, debating on those two right now. We'll talk about that in a second. Kendre Miller, Adam Thielen, Chase McLaughlin, Colts defense. And I have Hopkins on the bench too, but I'm not trusting him. Jerry Jeudy with DTJ, I'm not taking a chance on in the playoffs. And Cardinals defense, so I'm not really worried about that there. Meanwhile, he does have Lamar Jackson. He has Joe Mixon. He has Nico Collins. He has Breece Hall. He has those four names right there. That's going to be the four people that determine whether I win or lose, and three of them play literally in less than 24 hours. That's going to determine whether I win or lose. Honestly, it's going to be done by Saturday night. By the time I land in Tennessee, I will figure out whether I win or lose this playoff game. Very well could lose this game because Lamar could easily drop 30. It's against Pittsburgh, so I'm a little optimistic. Joe Mixon's against Kansas City, so I'm a little optimistic. Nico Collins again against Kansas City, little optimistic. We'll see. I think that at least one of these players is going to boom. I think at least one of these players are going to bust. I just don't know about how much they're each going to do that. So right now, I'm basically playing with about 52 points. So if they score about 52 to 53, that's about what I expected between all of them. Because I'm just accounting for the worst. Now the trick here is I think Jaden Reed, Pat Freiermuth, and Jameson Williams definitely. I think those three players are basically kind of not good this week. Jacoby Myers, I think either Jameson Williams or Jacoby Myers will do well and do bad. I think one of those players will do fine. The other one will not do as well. Detroit's defense against Caleb Williams and the Chicago offense, even against Detroit. Detroit's defense is, of course, hurt to hell, so it's a division game. It's in Chicago. I think Lions could easily actually lose this game. Could be easily a trap game for them. Anyway, I like my odds. I think my team is at least more consistent. I think I don't have as high upside. I think Jaden Daniels against Philadelphia is a really hard matchup as well. Achane against San Francisco is not ideal. Kyron against New York is not ideal. Again, Jawan against Miami, not ideal. Kendre Miller being my running back against Green Bay, but he is the Monday night, and I think he's the only Monday night player. No, Jaden Reed also is a Monday night player. So I do get to at least have that maybe final hope if I'm out of it. Adam Thielen against Arizona could be very good. I'm actually very excited about that. Jerry Jeudy against Cincinnati, as much as I would love to play him, without Jameis Winston, I just can't do it. Kamara, of course, is hurt, and Hopkins again is with Hollywood back, and then Patrick Mahomes banged up. I don't want to take a chance. The only debate I have, and I don't think it'll matter, but man, I'd cry if Kincaid got a touchdown. Strange and Kincaid, they're two very different cases. Straight up, Kincaid's the better player, but Strange got 11 targets last time. It's against Las Vegas, and it's just tough right now because Las Vegas is 28th ranked. Now, again, that doesn't necessarily always matter, but he got 11 targets, right? 11 targets, was it? Make sure I'm not just telling y'all lies. That was 14 against that. 12 targets. He got 12 targets, 11 receptions. That is insane. That's 5.5 points. Plus like 7.3, 12.8 points. That's without a touchdown. Now, do I expect a touchdown here? I don't. No, not necessarily. But Kincaid is the exact opposite. He is someone who could easily get a touchdown. He does get a decent amount of targets too, but I mean, it's iffy. New England's okay at blocking tight ends. I don't know who I want to go with here, to be honest with you. Kincaid's been here since the beginning for me. He hasn't had a touchdown in a while. He's been back. Could he get a touchdown here? Think he could. I don't know. This is just tough. Do I want to go with a guy who's pretty much the main target or one of the main targets there, but isn't as good and probably won't get the yards? I'm really just counting on receptions here. Or do I want Kincaid, who's been a pretty good option here and there, but honestly has not provided the base value that I'd like. 7.3, 7.2, 5.3, 4.4. Like he's not put up many duds. 3.4 and I guess 5 points and below, you pretty much put up a dud. So that's why I'm kind of like out of him at this point. So I think that's why I want to go Strange, because I feel like at least with his ceiling right now, or his floor right now, because I'm seeing 5 for 5 even during like week 8, like the random spurts where he got like a little bit more targets. But with Christian Kirk gone, Evan Ingram gone, it's basically just Brian Thomas for the long calls and Brenton Strange and Travis Etienne as the short guys. I kind of want to play Brenton Strange. I probably will end up playing Brenton Strange. But man, it's a tough matchup. Apparently, I'm projected to lose. I mean, it's no surprise when Joe Mixon, Nico Collins, and Lamar Jackson are tallied up for 53. I do think there's a lot of things going in my advantage that's not taken into account, though. We will see. Let's talk about the other playoff team here, because we'll talk about all these in this video. I didn't choose Speedy for 2 reasons. One, I do think he has a probably overall weaker team than the team I'm facing. Lucio, though, has a pretty good week 17. He has a lot easier matchups on week 17. So I was a little bit more worried about facing him in the championship than Bukake. We'll talk about Bukake in a minute because he's been the juggernaut of this league so far. Speed Kills, though, was probably the weakest team on paper. Tua, kind of banged up, could be hurt. Josh Jacobs, very easy matchup, could easily go for 30. Kind of was like a scary kind of thing for me. Aaron Jones, kind of one of those guys I don't like always seeing because I feel like he can always put up 25 or so. Chase, of course, can easily put up 40. And I don't like seeing that. So he's very explosive, but it's like 3 players are explosive. Devontae Adams, of course. And then you got Brian Robinson Jr., Josh Downs. He has a very good base. So I figured it wasn't that big of a difference between him and Wyatt anyway, also known as Lucio. So I was like, okay, I'll go against Lucio anyway. Let's go ahead and do it. I'm scared of him a little bit more in week 17 anyway. I'm not as afraid of facing these two in week 17. So it's take that as you will. I might regret it. I might not. We will see. The depth for both these teams are not very good as well. Jalen Waddle's on the bench for Bukake. Meanwhile, T.J. Hawkinson's on the bench here, and that's about it. Let's talk about Bukake. So, because he is an elite team, 100%. Joe Burrow, Chase Brown, Bijan, Puka Nacua, Brock Bowers, and now the number 1 running back in Cleveland, Jerome Ford. Not to mention, he has Chuba Hubbard as a 4th player flex. Chuba's probably better than my 3rd running back right now, which is probably Kendre Miller. And better than my receivers. That's the scary part about this team because he's projected 160 points. Insane. Because I would hate, because I see 4 of these players easily popping off. Puka, Chase Brown, Joe Burrow, and throwing Bijan Robinson for fun. 100%. Jerome Ford and Chuba, going to be very, very good floors. They're going to be easily 10-point floors. And that's just insane to me. The second reason, as I mentioned before, that I picked Speedy to go against him is because I do believe if there's anybody who could knock Bukake out, because I don't want to face Bukake, 100%, I'd rather not face him. I'd also decided, okay, which team is going to do better than Bukake. And I don't think any of us 3 could beat him this week, to be honest with you. I think that Speed Kills has the best chance because his week 16 matches, again, pretty damn easy. Not like the hardest matchups across the board here. Josh Jacobs, again, New Orleans could put up 30. Tua against San Francisco, if he's not banged up and actually throws well, could put up 25. Jamar Chase against Cleveland could easily put up 30. These are players that can definitely spike. And I think especially with Bukake having Joe Burrow against Jamar Chase is probably the best chance I could see someone beating Bukake this week especially. The odds get a little bit better in week 17, but not by much. My matchups get easier, his matchups get harder. And he also has a Lions defense against Giants, which is also a kick in the teeth. I don't know how this is going to go. I hope Speed Kills wins. For one, I like him better. And 2, I think he's an easier matchup for me if I do win. He had a very good start with Will Lutz getting double his total, or projected total. So it's slightly back in his favor. Not by much, though. Either way, I do think Speed Kills can do this. We're going to see. I don't see any Saturday night games, I don't think, here for either one of these players. So we're really just waiting until Sunday. Oh, we do have Justin Tucker. My bad. I'm very curious. That's straight to the point what I got here. Bukake probably wins this whole thing, though, is my prediction. Moving on to my half PPR league, I escaped the first round very narrowly by 8 points. I started Lamar, Jamar Chase, DK, who's awful, Chuba, Tank Bigsby, Mark Andrews, Jacoby, Brandon Aubrey, and Atlanta defense. And I played against Justin Herbert, Cooper Kupp, Juwan Jennings, Bijan, Brian Robinson Jr., Drake McBride, Devontae Adams, Younghoe Koo, and Minnesota's defense. So obviously, we started off with Cooper Kupp and Juwan Jennings at 4 points. I thought easily in the bag. Devontae Adams then puts up 38 points, and I'm falling behind every category. Lamar Jackson is the only reason I kept in the pace because Lamar scored basically the same as Devontae, so they kind of evened out. Everybody across the board, awful. Then it came down to Atlanta's defense and Jacoby Myers versus Minnesota's defense, and I was down about like 6, 8, something like that. So like Atlanta's defense, or it was 4, sorry, or something like that. And then Bijan, sorry. So Bijan, Minnesota versus Atlanta and Jacoby Myers. My bad. I remember now. I was up like 6. So I had a +6 advantage against him with Jacoby in Atlanta versus Bijan in Minnesota. I was expected to lose. And the very beginning of the game, obviously, very close. Very, very close. But then Atlanta's defense starts getting some turnovers, starts getting some points. Jacoby Myers in the final drive finally decides to put up 8 points. Meanwhile, Bijan didn't have a great game. He had a fine game. And then Minnesota's defense got scored on last minute. I won the game. Simple to the point, 119 points. Very, very nervous. Going into week 17, though, I face the number 1 seed. He has a beatable team this week, but he also could very well pop off. I'm facing Joe Mixon. Once again, not ideal. Tyreek Hill, facing Tyreek Hill, who's now a little banged up, apparently. Didn't realize he was banged up. Okay. Well, fair enough. He's a full session Thursday, so he'll probably play, so that's not a big deal. I play against Joe Mixon again, and Josh Jacobs, we already talked about him. He could easily go for 30. Mike Evans, he's going to get fucking 165 yards and a touchdown. I've already made that up in my mind. He's going to get 28 points. Jared Goff, though, I think could be lower because they might lean on Jahmyr Gibbs in the run game more. Tyreek Hill, I don't think is necessarily a lock-in to being good. Malik Neighbors, I think could get receptions. I don't know about his yardage, though. Either way. Meanwhile, I had a decision to make for my second running back because obviously Tank Bigsby didn't work out last week. I decided, okay, I need to figure something out. So I had to decide who was my lineup, essentially. Lamar Jackson, Jamar Chase, Chuba, Mark Andrews, Adam Thielen, Brandon Aubrey, and Buffalo Bills defense were all lock-ins. They're a pretty good, solid core. Then I had to decide my other team because I was nervous about Ladd McConkey against Denver because you never know with Pat Surtain. But I chucked up my head that Ladd McConkey's the best player by far. Jacoby Myers is a hope and pray. DK Metcalf has been a cone. Ladd McConkey is the best player, and if you ask me, would I rather have a guaranteed 11.7 points or one of these two players, I would tell you I would take Ladd McConkey's guaranteed points. Then I had a running back dilemma. I had Javonte Williams, I had Travis Etienne, I had Tank Bigsby, Alexander Madison. Immediately I ruled out in my mind, I'm going Travis Etienne or Tank Bigsby due to the reception quality, plus he had more carries, so maybe he's better. And then Alexander Madison, too much risk for a playoff game. I was like, and then Javonte Williams had Jaleel McLaughlin out. Obviously, 8.8 points from Javonte. I'd love to see that more. He should have got a goal line carry, should have got a touchdown, but that's beside the point. Javonte did not do bad. I think the 8.8 points, again, if you ask me, would I rather have the 8.8 points guaranteed or would I rather have Travis Etienne? It'd be pretty close, don't get me wrong, because I think Travis Etienne could put up to like 12 points this next week. But if I lose by that, then that's on my own fault. That's not anything I can really control at this point. So I do have 20 points essentially going into the weekend. And I have these were the two riskiest players. Ladd McConkey and Javonte feel like the weakest players. I think everybody else has very good capabilities putting up points. I'm very excited about Adam Thielen, and I'm very excited about Mark Andrews against Pittsburgh. Because I think if Lamar Jackson does find points in the air, it's going to be to Mark Andrews. Because I think he also had a cool down week last week. So he's basically due, right? Yeah, come on. He's due for another touchdown, obviously. We'll see, though. Very excited. And again, his team, scary Josh Jacobs, Joe Mixon against a hard matchup. It's going to be a close one for sure. And this will be a good matchup. I do like seeing it. Let's see the other matchups, though. I actually haven't even really looked at the other matchups going on this week for the championship. The second and third seed obviously going off. Jalen Hurts, DJ Moore, Justin Jefferson, Derrick Henry, Najee, George Kittle, Brock Bowers, saying, I would love to face this team. Holy shit, I would love to face this team. 112 points projection. That seems kind of high. What was my projection? Like 105, 106? Wow, okay, we kind of suck, actually, it looks like. Meanwhile, you got Cameron Dicker, Pittsburgh, Jerome Ford, Hunter. I'd love to face these teams. Oh, JSN's kind of scary, and Josh Allen's kind of scary. Okay, that's kind of never mind. I'm kind of looking Kyron. Okay, never mind. I don't want to face this team. This team might win it all. I'm not gonna lie to you. Josh Allen, JSN, Kyron Williams, James Conner, Garrett Wilson as a second receiver, pretty damn good. What's the bench here looking like for both these teams? Pretty piss poor. David Montgomery on the bench. Holy fuck, his team was good. Oh, Jerome Ford came in clutch for this guy. Holy shit. This is pretty 50-50 too. Damn. Okay. I think that Darth Educator Experience is going to take the win, and I think he's going to win the whole thing. This guy is kind of fucking scary. I don't want to look at that. And then finally in our PPR league, I had a bye starting off the week. Felt pretty good. I put up 186 points on my bye week. That's kind of exciting. Devontae Adams and Josh Allen and Jerry Jeudy all popping off. Week 16, I'm facing off against the 5th seed, who won his matchup. He has Lamar Jackson. So Lamar Jackson's involved in all 3 of my games. He has CeeDee Lamb, Cortland Sutton played, Jameson Williams, Devon Achane, Najee Harris, Mark Andrews, Jerome Ford, Brandon Aubrey, Denver defense. He got 13 points from 2 of his players. One of those players could have done really well. Cortland Sutton could have easily found the end zone. He didn't. So now it's like, okay, CeeDee Lamb in PPR scary. Lamar Jackson's obviously scary. Devon Achane's pretty scary. Mark Andrews I think could be very, very scary. Jerome Ford. I'm facing Jerome Ford in 2 of these leagues too. He's fucking on Pukake's team. So like, I hate Jerome Ford. Fuck's sake. I think I still have an advantage. I mean, I have so much upside. Josh Allen's obviously just as good, if not better, than Lamar Jackson this week. Calvin Ridley, Devontae Adams, Terry McLaurin as my PPR machines. I will take it. Calvin Ridley can has lately at least been getting like 10, but he has capability of doing way more. Devontae Adams has been electric. Terry McLaurin, same case here. Philly's a tough matchup, so we'll see. Bucky Irvin against Dallas is a fucking dream come true. Breece Hall against the Rams is kind of rough, so we'll see how he actually looks. Trey McBride against Carolina is a dream. DeAndre Swift against Detroit currently, low-key great. Again, he's getting a bunch of carries, and I like it. Indianapolis against Tennessee was whatever. Kara Fairbairn's whatever. I do have Jerry Jeudy. I debated on him. Not going to go with it. Just because I'd rather have everybody else in my lineup currently. Could be a good PPR machine now that I think about it more, but I'm still taking what I got. I'm still taking me to win just because I think Josh Allen at least eliminates the biggest threat for me, Lamar Jackson. And I think everybody else can kind of cover Devon Achane and CeeDee Lamb, and I don't expect much else from everybody else. Jerome Ford, even though I'm kind of scared of him, I think he'd also could just easily be a cone as well. So we'll see. I do think I take a dub here. I think this is my only matchup I feel good about. Every other matchup I feel at least a little nervous about. So hopefully y'all did enjoy the video. I will see y'all in the next one.